Hello everyone. So today, my group and I will present our economy assignment. Our title is Economic Dynamics and Policy Impact in Malaysia Airline Industry, a case study of Airasia. So let's dig in.
Hi, Assalamualaikum and very good evening. My name is Abdul Rashid, matrix number 103057. Today, I will present my slide, which is the purpose of the assignment. So, the purpose of the assignment is to examine and assess the airline industry with a focus on Airasia from the perspective of market structure and governmental restriction. The initiative aims to provide students with a comprehensive understanding of how market characteristics impact pricing behavior, economic economic efficiency, and social outcomes. It also examines how AirAsia growth and business method in the competitive airline sector are impacted by laws, regulation, and subsidy. Our group will get a deeper comprehension of economic principle and their practical application uh, as a result of this study, which will foster critical thinking and the ability to evaluate how policy impact industry. Moving on to the next slide, which is the overview of the airlines industry, AirAsia. Number one is the airline industry role. Uh, the role is promote connection, international trade, and tourism. It involves regulators, service providers, airports, airline, and aircraft manufacturer. Number two is the Malaysia airline industry. It was low cost carrier (LCC). By lowering a cost of air travel, AirAsia increased accessibility and demand among middle and lower class passengers. Full service airlines with a wealth of amenities, Malaysia Airlines serve serve an upscale markets. Number three is the contribution to the economy. So it increases economic activity and tourists, which boosts the Malaysia's GDP. Secondly, it generates the employment in airport operations, maintenance, logistics, and hospitality. And then number four is the geographical benefit, which is the Malaysia is a major hub for both people and freight due to its advantage location within Asia. One of the main gateway for aviation in Kuala Lumpur International Airport (KLIA). Number five is possibility and difficulties. The opportunities is increasing demand for air travel, changing customer tastes, and technological development. Difficulty, the necessary for ongoing innovation and the unpredictability of fuel price. Last but not least is the low cost leader AirAsia. It it was established in 1993, relaunched in 2001. The important feature is the road network, which is widespread Asia Pacific coverage, cost-effective point-to-point activity are the business model. Revenue stream including ancillary service such as a premium seating, in-flight meals, and baggaging fees. Last but not least is innovation developed into a financial service and a digital lifestyle brand with long-haul flying subsidiaries like Air.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Amirul Husni bin Zulkarnain and my metric number is 103299. Now I want to present on my part, which is market structure of the airlines industry. The first subtopic of market structure that I want to present is identification of market structure. In your information, the airline industry is classified as an oligopoly, and there are three key points why the airline industry is classified as an oligopoly. The first is airline industry dominated by a few major firms, and second, significant entry barriers, and the last is independent decision making. Hello, now I want to move to second subtopic of market structure of the airline industry, which is characteristics of the market structure. The first characteristics of the airline industry as an oligopoly is few dominant firms. In most areas, a small number of strong corporations control the airline industry. Therefore, a limited number of competitors is a characteristic of oligopolies. For instance, AirAsia rivals in Southeast Asia include well-known carriers like Singapore Airlines, Malaysia Airlines, and Lion Air. The second characteristic is high barriers to entry. As we know, to enter the airline industry, there are several key factors. Uh, Firstly, is require a large investment. Establishing an airline requires significant financial investment in purchasing aircraft, maintaining facilities, and recruiting personnel. Secondly, is compliance with stringent aviation safety laws. Operating license requirements and airline need access to landing slots pose a major challenge. Finally, customer loyalty to well-known airlines like AirAsia makes it difficult to new competitors to attract customers. The third characteristic is interdependence among firms. Interdependence among firms can refer to a company's response to the current behavior competitors. The choice made by one corporation affect the tactics of other firms in an oligopoly. For example, Lion Air may cut their fares in response to AirAsia's reduction in ticket costs on a well-traveled route. The fourth characteristic is product differentiation. All airlines offer air travel, but they differ from one another in terms of customer satisfaction, network coverage, price structures, and service quality. For example, Singapore Airlines prioritize luxury and first-rate services, while AirAsia's low-cost carrier model place more emphasis on pricing. The last characteristic is non-price competition. Instead of continuously lowering their price, airlines in oligopolistic market typically compete through marketing, route growth, alliances, and loyalty programs. For instance, AirAsia makes a significant investment in digital innovation, providing individualized services and easy-to-use booking tools to draw in and keep consumers. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Muhammad Haga Zaiman Mihirman, number matrix 105213. So today I want to talk about price behavior and social costs. The market structure of the airline business is generally described as an oligopoly, in which a small number of powerful companies have a sizable share of the market. Because pricing strategies, market efficiency, and competition interact, price behavior and social costs are inextricably intertwined into such a market framework. So, let's move on to the analysis of price behavior in the airline industry. Price behavior in an oligopolistic airline industry. For the first point, price rigidity and strategic interaction. Airlines in oligopoly avoid price war to protect profit. Instead, they compete through better services or loyalty programs, leading to stable prices even if cost or demand change. For the second point, collusion or tacit agreements. Firms may collude, legally or not, to keep prices high and share market power. Airline, for example, might align fuel surcharges or avoid lowering fare on popular routes. For the last point, price discrimination. Airlines use price discrimination by charging different prices based on booking time, service class, and demand. This boosts profit but can exclude price-sensitive consumer, causing inefficiency among the consumer. So I will explain about the supporting graph for the price behavior in an oligopolistic allied industry. So as you guys can see, the oligopoly always show a king demand curve. So we'll explain it one by one. For the first part, I will explain about the relatively elastic demand. So when the price rises above the king point, the X point, demand will always become elastic. This is because customer will quickly shift to competitors or alternative option. The reason why they shift because business avoid raising prices because the sharp drop in demand will severely cut their revenue. So moving on to the inelastic demand. So when the price fall below the king, demand will always become inelastic. Competitors match the price cut, and the initiating business sees only the small increase in demand, making last price cut unprofitable. So they will not get any profit by doing that. So I will explain about the king point, where the price and the quantity will always remain stable. Uh, at the king point, price and quantity will always remain stable because firms know that raising prices will drive their customer away, while lowering prices spark matching move by competitors. For the last one, I will explain about the marginal revenue curve. Behind the scene, the marginal revenue curve is broken at the king. This gap shows uncertainty about competitor reaction. Even if the cost changes from pivot to stick to the king price, keeping the market price and quantity steady. So in conclusion, that is why price in some industry remain rigid thanks to the dynamic of the king demand curve. So, conclusion for price behavior in an oligopolistic airline industry. In short, strategic interdependence in oligopolistic markets in the airline industry often remains stable despite changes in operational costs or demand fluctuations. So, let's move on to the examination of social costs. Social costs in an oligopolistic airline industry. For the first point, allocative inefficiency. Oligopoly prices are higher than costs, reducing consumption compared to perfect competition. This excludes some willing customer, causing the debit loss to happen. For the second point, environmental impact. Aviation contributes to greenhouse gas emission and climate change. Ticket prices often ignore these social costs, causing market failure and underestimating the true cost of flying process. For the last point, market power and inequality. In an oligopoly, dominant firms may use their market dominance to increase profit, which could lower consumer supplies and widen the income gap among the firms. So, I will explain about the supporting graph for the social costs in the oligopolistic airline industry. So, to make it more understanding and easier, I will break down the dead weight loss and why it is matter in the market efficiency. So, for the demand curve shows that highest price consumer are willing to pay. As quantity increases, willingness to pay drop due to the diminishing marginal utility. For the supply curve always represents the marginal cost of the production. Producing more units become more expensive due to the limited resources and capacity. For the market equilibrium, at the market equilibrium, 70 units supply equal to demand. Here, price and the quantity are balanced for producer and the consumer. But in the oligopolies, prices are set higher than marginal costs, leading to underproduction compared to competitive market. So socially optimal point. The socially optimal point is at 60 units, where the prices equal marginal costs. So this achieves allocative efficiency, maximizing social welfare by perfectly balancing the costs and the benefits. For the last one, the deadweight loss. The gap between the market quantity 70 units and the optimal quantity 60 units created a deadweight loss. This represents lost economic value. Consumer consumer who will have purchased at the optimal price are excluded because the market price is often higher. So, in conclusion, the deadweight loss highlight the cost of inefficiency. Striving for the socially optimal point ensure resources are used effectively, benefiting the society as a whole. So, I will talk about the negative externalities arise when the true cost of good goes beyond what consumer and producer pay. So, let's explore how this affect the market. So for the demand curve represents how much the consumer are willing to pay for each unit. This willingness decreases as quantity increases. For private cost curve, the private cost curve reflects a firm internal cost. For example, fuel, labor, and maintenance. Firms base their prices and production on this curve and ignoring all the external costs. For social cost curve, the social cost curve at externalities such as environmental damage or the noise pollution. It shows the true cost to society production and consuming the good and the market outcome. At Q Market, a firm produce more than socially optimal because they ignore external costs. This will always lead to overproduction and worsen negative externalities like, for example, greenhouse gas emission in the airline industry. For socially optimal outcome, the socially optimal quantity, Q optimal, is where the demand curve meet the social cost curve. Here the prices, when P optimal, reflect the full societal costs. Government can help achieve this through taxes or regulation that internalize the external costs. For externality costs, the gap between the Q market and the Q optimal, bounded by the social and private cost curve. It represents the externality costs. So this overproduction harm the society, causing the environmental damage and other negative effects. So in conclusion, by accounting for externalities, we can reduce all this harm and ensure that prices reflect the true cost to the society. So I will talk about conclusion for the weight loss and negative externalities graph. In short, the day weight loss occurs when oligopolistic pricing lead to allocative efficiency, with reduced production and loss social welfare due to prices being set above marginal cost. In contrast, the negative externalities occur when overproduction, caused by ignoring external costs such as environmental harm, result in societal efficiency. So let's move on to the relationship between price behavior and social costs. For the first one, high prices and allocative inefficiency. Price rigidity and price setting above marginal cost lead to reduced accessibility for consumers. This creates deadweight loss, a social cost where potential economic benefit are left unrealized. For the last one, environmental externalities and pricing. Airlines often exclude the environmental costs from their pricing structure. For example, our fare, especially by low-cost carrier, may stimulate excessive demand, amplifying carbon emission. On the other hand, higher prices resulting from oligopolistic practices could indirectly limit demand, slightly mitigating environmental impact.
Hello everyone, today I will present government policies and their impact. Government policies are taken by the government to address issues while achieving specific objectives. These policies will guide the company and influence the society of a country. There are some key government policies that are affecting the airline industry. The first one is environmental regulation. The environment policies impacting Airasia are particularly significant as Malaysian government emphasize sustainability in aviation industry. Under this policy, uh, Airasia must offset emission exceeding to 2020 level by purchasing carbon credit. Additionally, Malaysian government also pushing for net zero aviation emission by 2015, which Airasia require to modernize its fleet with full efficient aircraft and participate in carbon offset program. Second were taxation and economic incentive. Taxation and economic incentive play a crucial role in shaping Airasia's operation and financial strategies. Passenger service charges have been introduced by Malaysian government, which airlines must pay to airport operator for using the airport facilities. This will lead to policies discussion and legal challenge to Airasia. Additionally, full taxes also affect Airasia's operational costs and ticket pricing, while this also give impact for passengers. And the last one is ownership and foreign investment. Malaysian government has applied the restriction on foreign ownership limit on domestic airline, including Airasia. This ensure majority of Airasia shall remain under Malaysian ownership. This policy then the evaluation of the policy impact does impact on the industrial growth. On the environmental policies, uh, due to substantial impact this restriction have had on Airasia, the airline must offset emission that beyond 2020 levels, which raise operating expenses because carbon credit must be purchased. And the second one is taxation and economic incentive. Uh, the operational expenses of Airasia are directly impacted by the government taxation laws, such as fuel tax and passenger service charge. Excessive PSC rate raise airline costs, which might lower the profit margin and necessitate change to ticket pricing, particularly in large airports. And the last one is the ownership and foreign investment. This evaluation of policy impacts though the Malaysian government try to protect interests. Restriction on foreign ownership make it more difficult for the airline to draw in larger investment in international investment. This may hinder Airasia expansion, particularly with regard to fleet modernization and technology.
Discussion and implication. Insight from the analysis, market dynamics in an oligopoly. Few powerful firms dominate the market, leading to price rigidity and strategic interdependence. Airasia thrives with competitive pricing and a cost-effective business model despite challenge. Price behavior and social costs. oligopoly pricing result in inefficiency, reducing consumer access and creating deadweight loss. Environmental costs such as emissions are not reflected in ticket price. Role of government policies, regulations like Corsia and decarbonization targets push Airasia to modernize its fleet. Passenger charge and ownership restriction impact Airasia financial strategy and growth. Airasia strategic adoption. Airasia remains resilient through digital transformations, its low-cost model, and supplementary revenue streams. Policy recommendation for sustainable growth. Incentive for sustainability of offer subsidy or tax breaks to encourage fleet modernization and the use of sustainable aviation fuels. Balancing PSC and operational costs. Adjust passengers service charge to reduce operational costs, ensuring competitive and consumer-friendly ticket price. Carbon credit support. Establish a domestic carbon credit system to help airlines meet offset requirements while supporting local sustainability efforts. Promoting competition. Encourage fair competition through low entry barriers and promote transparency benefiting consumers. Flexible ownership regulations allow control foreign investment to boost capital for fleet, upgrades, and technological advancements while protecting national interests.
To conclude, let's summarize the key points regarding Malaysia's aviation industry. Malaysia aviation market is characterized by an oligopoly with a few dominant players leading the industry. High entry barriers and strategic interdependence among these firms make it challenging for new competitors to enter the market. Regulatory frameworks also have significant impact. Compliance with environmental laws such as Corsia and decarbonization targets is crucial. Additionally, there's a strong push towards adopting sustainable aviation fuels and upgrading aircraft fleets to meet this regulation. To ensure sustainability, we recommend several initiatives, providing incentives for green initiatives and carbon offset programs, establishing fair and transparent taxation policies, introducing flexibility in ownership regulation to foster healthy competition within the market. Lastly, the aviation industry plays a vital role in Malaysia's economy. It boosts tourism, trade and employment opportunities while enhancing both regional and global connectivity.
As you guys can see, these are the references that really help us in completing our assignment that has been given by our lecturer. So that's all from us. Thanks for lending us your attentions. Bye bye. See you again in